can start the meeting. It's 6 bells. So let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Call to order, board members, Randy Wheeler.
Here.
Susan Melfi.
Here.
Tammy Kelker.
Here.
Anna Lismore.
Here.
Mary Ann Wilsbacher, I'm here too. Advisory board members, Joe Kuhn.
Here.
Bill Bruns.
Here.
Jenna Rickard.
Here.
Staff, Paul Perry, Town Council Liaison.
Here.
Chris Cook, Town Administrative Manager.
Here.
Andrea Balboni, Deputy Town Manager.
Here.
Connor Vogel, attorney, is not here. On to approval of the July 3rd minutes. We've had a couple of sets of those go out, so we're going to approve the revised items, or the revised minutes.
Came out today.
That came out today. So if you have had a chance to read through they're stamped revised. So if you have a chance to look those over, I would entertain a motion after you've looked them over.
So moved, after he looked over.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'm gonna go ahead and sign these right now. Oh, I better have my microphone on.
That's okay.
I'm going to sign the minutes now, microphone. Because if I don't do that now, then it can be forgotten. Okay. And those are for Andrea. Any comments by citizens? I don't see any citizens here. And I don't see any scheduled requests or appearances. New business, we have an action item, and then Susan has a new business that's not on the schedule. Let's go ahead.
H&I asked me to,
Oh, okay.
instead of them coming.
She would be a scheduled request and appearance, I guess, because H&I couldn't make it. So do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So H&I is requesting the use of the Lou Room and the 2 shelters at Lou Dennis Park on May 31st for the Strawberry Festival,
Okay.
2026.
May 31st, you
May
said?
31st, 2026.
So I guess we need a motion to accept that, and then we'll discuss it. Tammy, you want to?
Oh, make a motion.
Okay. All right, now we can discuss it. Troy stopped me one day when I was walking and said that there was just too much happening on the 5th of July, that with the Strawberry Social and the music festival and the fireworks then at 9 o'clock at night, they were exhausted. That was just overwhelming. And I thought, you know, when I can see why, because there was just so much. And he said, what about having the Strawberry Social over at Lou Dennis? And I thought that sounded like a decent idea, because
There's air-conditioned rooms, or an air-conditioned room for, if it's very hot, then people can be in there. And then there's also all of the ongoing space. The only concern is that we may be in the middle of construction, but we are hoping that we won't be. And so I think to tentatively schedule that would be a good idea. What do you all feel? How do you feel?
I think that's a very good time.
I think the timing makes sense to me, or, excuse me, the location makes sense to me, but a question I had on the timing was 5:31 sounds like it would be after school and when the splash pad would be open.
Yes.
So if they're looking at the air-conditioned building and the 2 shelter houses, that puts the splash pad and the kids and the water right in the middle of all that. Are there any concerns about moving food back and forth between locations, things maybe getting smashed down or spilt in that splash pad area? How would we be looking to manage anything like that?
So ideally, I always open the splash pad, so Memorial Day will be the 25th.
Yes.
And then usually I'll just need to look and see, well, I have it at home, when work schools are letting out.
They're before,
Is it 22nd?
yeah.
Okay, so then so the 22nd would be that Friday.
Yes.
So most likely we then would open up the splash pad probably that Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, so somewhere in there. So most likely the splash pad will be operating. There is a rule, there's no food allowed on the splash pad. So, I mean, that we would have staff there, right, to hopefully monitor that. But I mean, it's depending on how big it gets, right? I mean, that would be the only issue that I saw. I mean, we would staff our staff there, plus I'm assuming H&I would have all their volunteers there. Do you want
It could make some great foot traffic, I mean, to get to the strawberry
Right.
social, like having all the families there, so,
And then
it could
do
be a
you- I
benefit,
mean,
but.
You could also not turn it on that day or turn it on after, but I mean, I'm assuming they want it there because of the splash pad and everything, so.
And, you know, I have no, and you don't have anything to do with planning either, but, you know, they could get a large tent and put some over where the fortress used to be and have most of the food over in that neck of the woods.
Their plan was to serve from the loo room,
Because of it,
and then people can go and eat other places. They also were hoping to use the grassy area to have some games and things for kids.
I mean, I think with the volunteers and having staff there, I don't see it being a big issue. Just, you know, we can add more staff that day to help with H&I as well.
And the other issue that might be is parking, but when we had the Splash Bash, it was packed, and we ended up asking the Masonic Lodge if people could park there, and that worked really well.
It
Because
did.
we had a big crowd that day.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, for the most part, I mean, most weekends, now granted, it's not usually one big thing, but most weekends, both shelters and the loo room are open when the splash pad is going, right? So whether or not, obviously, they're running back and forth between, because it's all one entity or one big party, but yeah, I think as long as, you know, we have staff there, and they're aware of it, I don't have an issue with it. So.
Yeah, we've had hot dogs and chips and all kinds of things there before, but not ice cream, so.
I don't know if they'll have ice cream,
Yeah,
unless
Kiwanis
we come
probably
and
would.
do ice cream
But-
there.
but
I don't know,
we've-
but they'll have
yeah,
the
we've
whipped cream
had-
and the cake, and
yeah.
Are they, you know if they're gonna do food trucks or not?
They were talking about possibly food trucks, but that
Okay.
wasn't, Matt didn't ask me to ask you about that, but,
Yeah,
because he might have forgotten about that.
okay.
Yeah.
He just called me up
I
at
think
work and
it's
said,
a
we
great
can't
space.
come.
I just worry about how much traffic and, you know, yes, the parking, but I know they'll probably work with Newburgh Elementary and have a bus or a shuttle to go over to it.
And I think, so essentially, they'll still have to fill out a special event form, so I'll get it over to
They will,
Troy, and it lists out all those questions and all those concerns. And then the big thing, obviously, we would end up letting the Park Drive residents know, because that's usually a concern of theirs too, people going down and turning around constantly there,
It would be
so,
a lot.
yeah.
I mean, have they ever said like the number of people that have attended? the Strawberry Fest, not this
I
past year, I
mean-
can't because of everything else that was going on, but
The year
that.
before,
Well, that one,
it was
we have some
huge when
data,
the-
but we don't, but that's mostly Fourth of July data.
Yeah.
That's the
The-
whole day data.
That's
The
the
ye-
whole day data.
The year before, when they were supposed to have all the events for and they just had the Strawberry Fest, they had a lot of people. They were surprised there was a line and.
I
so-
could see about going back to like that year or 2 years ago when it was a standalone and see if we can pull some data on how many people.
I feel
But
like
it
we,
might, I don't know if I can get that by the next meeting.
I feel like we did something either with the Splash Bash or there was something that we did where either we blocked off Park Drive for those we did something for it so that people wouldn't go down Park Drive. We did something, so I'll look into it so we don't,
When
I don't
was the
wanna bug
Splash
them.
Bash? What
that was
year?
the first year that we, opened.
I could
It was
even,
like 21,
because
wasn't
we
it?
could go back to 17, so I mean, if you.
I
just
mean,
give-
it was nowhere near what
No,
the
what's
Strawberry
gonna be,
Festival
yeah.
pulled in.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you
Pulled
wanted, like,
it.
Right.
Yeah,
but if you wanted to compare,
yeah.
we could pull the data from that
Yeah.
if I can get our partners to give us access to the system.
Okay,
And then we can pull the data from when it was standalone 2 years ago and kind of have a ballpark, but it might be, I don't know if I can get it by the next meeting or so.
that's fine. And I'll have Troy fill out the, special event packet and that way, in that packet, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but he has to clarify road closures, what they're doing for trash, what they're doing for parking, what they're doing for transportation. So and all that comes, and if there is any road closures or anything like that, it all goes to council, but yeah, so I will, once he fills it out, I'll get back to you guys.
Okay, thank you for presenting that, Susan.
No problem.
And that date, there's going to be a boatload of people because that is strawberry season.
Yeah.
And that's when everybody's thinking strawberry. So that would be a good time, but I had not thought of little kids spilling cake.
Somebody who
My
has little kids,
my
yeah.
2-year-old has cake in the face and hands all the time, so, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my kids are way beyond that. Okay, the 2023.
Well, so you guys had a motion and a second.
Oh,
You have
yeah,
to vote on it.
second, okay. All in favor, say aye. Oh, two,
Well, aren't we tabling it until the next meeting, until you get your data?
Still,
we
Is that
can.
my impression?
I mean, this is just allowing them to have the rooms,
Just,
mean,
They want it.
to hold the rooms, and then we can
To
get all the
hold it,
data
okay.
if,
All right.
I mean, totally up
Dependent
to
on-
you guys.
Dependent
but-
on what we determine as far as,
okay, let me word this
Okay.
properly instead of all in favor. The motion would be to allow H&I to reserve the rooms pending the, what do I want to say?
Do you want to say the special event?
Special event packet responses and the number expected to attend.
One comment, Chris, construction on the Ninja course and phase 1 was gonna, you were talking about in March. Is that going to be over? That's just a section of the park that
I mean, it's all, I mean,
may be under
it's,
construction.
I mean, it's all going to be dependent upon ready.
ready
I mean-
and weather. I mean, once we,
I'm not asking for a time there, I'm just saying for this.
theoretically, construction would start when the weather breaks in March. And their timeline puts them to be done right in that window between Memorial Day and the first week of June.
Okay.
But there's still that one hoop of the ready fund.
It's gonna be right there, the timing.
But
It
they're
will be.
preparing that everything's gonna fall in line and, they're gonna shoot, they've got us kind of penciled in.
I think we can make that an opportunity for us, for raising money too, if they are doing construction there, you can see.
Well, there'll be these big
But
4x8.
just be aware, there may be a big hole or maybe a lot of mud.
And we have not we have not officially signed anything with them, and I don't plan on it until,
We have on the Ninja.
well, on the Ninja course, yes, but on the
But when,
playground itself,
when the Ready
we've signed
came
nothing.
about, Instead of doing 2 mobilizations, we're gonna shoot for just
Right, I
one.
understand. I
Yeah.
just wanted to get it out there that there could be some overlap.
Yeah, and I had thought about that, but I'm thinking, you know, are we gonna start like the first week in March?
You told me never to talk,
When-
you told me never to talk about weather.
We don't discuss dates.
The last
You're
time I
right.
brought weather up, I kinda got blamed for the floods and the ice storms. So
Yes, you did,
I'm
by
not,
me.
I'm not gonna answer that question because that's not my profession.
I think we should move forward as in it is not going to be there or done.
I mean, it's gonna
That's how I
have,
plan on moving forward.
either way, it's gonna have construction fencing around it.
Yeah.
And that area will be blocked off to where it won't have easy access. And either way, it'll either be a construction site, it'll either be one of 3 things. Done, a construction site almost done, or still a field with a couple boards that are advertising it. I mean, that's the best answer we can give at this point.
And, I mean, we have a close relationship with Troy and H&I. I mean, anything that happens in there, we'll let them know, and we can always pivot and go from there if needed, so.
Okay. Thank you all for all of the discussion. And so we have a motion and we have someone who, Randy made the motion and Susan, no.
Did I second
you-
it?
I
No,
don't-
Tammy
Tammy
said.
Tammy seconded
Tammy
it.
did, yeah.
Yeah, because you can't, because you did it.
Right.
Tammy
Tammy and then me,
seconded.
yeah.
Now, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Parks Board is just kind of wishy-washy on the rules.
I've got a lot of these, it's fine, I'm here for it.
You understand.
I'm so glad. Now, the 2023-2027 Parks Recreation and Master Plan Amendment.
So in front of you guys, and I've sent this out a couple times and I had a revision as well, it's the master plan amendment to your actual master plan. They asked for these if anything big changes. Really the basis, right, is for federal funding if we needed that component. But with it not being due until 2027, I wanted to get all the information that we have on Lou and that we no longer have AMAX updated with the state. And so with that, I then also just went ahead and updated kind of the administrative side of it, just because there was so many changes on the administrative side. We even changed our org chart, so I updated that. And then outside of that, it's just updating Lou Dennis with all the information, AMAX, and what else did I do? I think Lock and Dam as well. And then outside of that, I did the level of service, which is calculated, it's a state calculation, and so because we got rid of AMAX, I then updated that as well for them.
And Randy, you had a question about that.
Yeah, a couple things. First of all, just what is the difference between a town manager and a town administrative manager? I see 2 terms floating around here.
So according to the state of Indiana, there's very specific rules for a town manager. And the town council got rid of that in the 80s. Basically, really, when you look at, basically, Chris can't sign contracts and he can't hire and fire. That's basically the realm of what they took away when they went from town manager, town administrative manager. And they did that just for council to have the control over the contracts and the hiring and the firing, essentially. So, but with that, because throughout, when I went back and was rereading it, it was either town administrative manager or town manager, so that's why I clarified it in here, because it was back and forth in the master plan, so.
I was wondering if you were getting 2 salaries.
Not from the town of Newburgh.
The updated LOS, reading through this would indicate that we don't have enough park space for our population. What do we do about that? Is it just stating the fact, or is that going to be a problem?
No, I mean, have always fallen a little short, whether it's with the LOS or I think I said, which one did I say was gonna be updated? There's two that we go off of. And my brain's not working. The amendment recalculate, hold on a second, guys. So there's your level of service. So DNR has one, and Indiana DNR has one, and then basically there's a national too. We always fall short, generally. I mean, we're a tiny town. We're gonna generally fall short. We just fall a lot shorter now that we've
Because
got
of AMAX.
of AMAX. But
Right.
technically, it's
Yep.
not in the town limits anyways. So there was always that caveat where on some things we did exceed, but then it was like, but this is not within the town limits. So there was always that caveat to it that it was outside of us, even though it was ours within the system. So, but we do show this, and then if you look back at the actual master plan, we still list out all those other parks that are
Right.
owned and show their access to the Newburgh park system.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this does not put us in any disagreement with,
No, oh, no,
Their rules.
no.
Okay.
They would probably like us to get more.
yeah?
We can work-
Find
we
some
can-
land.
Yeah.
Gotta find some land.
For how many people would we have to move out?
Or shrink, yes, or we have to shrink.
Well, I would like to commend Andrea for being on top of this, because I have been through 3 master plans. And Andrea, the first one we hired out, and it did not turn out the way anybody wanted it to. And then another one, I guess I've been through 4, because another one was hired out and was off the wall expensive. And then Andrea took over and did the last, how many have you done? 2? And did them in-house. I don't know how she did it, because you can read how in-depth you have to be for these. And it's coming up again, we have to start again next year.
Next year, yeah.
Have to start working on it again next year.
And I've used that for a couple grants I've gone for the library, for this, so, yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
it's
very
good, it's
useful.
good town data, it's good park data. And speaking of that, I think I gave you guys the link, or I sent and I can get you guys a printed copy. It's the Indiana Parks Survey, what was it? Anyway, I sent it out to you guys. It's the Indiana Parks just did a survey. And they kind of gave Chris and I a spiel at this last meeting that we went to, with everything coming up with Senate Bill 1, and all these changes that sometimes parks are usually kind of the first things that are sometimes hit, or, those things, and how important all that is. So that study, we can reference that study in our new master plan coming up, which will be nice. So they have all that data that we can use in that next one. So if you haven't read it, it's a good read. I can print it for anybody that wants it printed, but I think I sent the link out.
I think I read that.
Okay.
It's the INPRA.
I mean, really, you've done a wonderful job, that I will need a raise.
All right.
I mean, I'm just saying.
It's the
It is very much.
Indiana Parks and Recreation Association.
Yes. And they just did a really good study. It was good to see some of that information. And then Chris and I met with a lot of parks recently in Evansville. It was just good to hear everybody else's takes and things that they're dealing with as well. And
They had a regional meeting in Evansville about a month ago, if
Yeah.
that.
yeah, it was neat. It was good to meet up with everybody. But yes, so the amendment will go to DNR. They'll look it over. I don't think it's as like with the original one, it goes to them, they edit it, they give us back their suggestions, we, back and forth, and then it has to be adopted by you guys and adopted by council. From what I was told, this just kind of gets added as behind it. So I don't think it has to go through all of that, but essentially I just want to send this to them, see what they have to say, and then if they need it to come back, I'll bring it back to you guys.
But this part, I mean, you can just plug and chug for the 2027, or, the 2027
Unless
one.
anything changes, but yes.
Unless something else big happens, then,
Yes, so
This
that
part
part's
is
done.
done.
Yeah.
And this, believe it or not, this is a small part of this document. As big as this is a small part of the document. It's amazing. And you do an excellent job with it.
Well, thank you. I like doing it.
Well, for the record, the state praised your work last time around.
That's right.
And I fully expect that's gonna happen again.
Oh, stop.
Well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you.
For the record, the federal government praised her work yesterday, or Tuesday.
Well, good.
Thank you.
But that was for the FEMA stuff. I just wanted to go on record.
Okay.
that-
Okay, good.
I just keep things organized.
But it also helps when the municipality that goes before you shows up with nothing, and then they followed it up with her, so they were very complimentary.
All right,
Yeah.
That's great.
that's wonderful.
I'm blushing.
Okay. Question, do I do the volleyball court now or wait until Lou Dennis?
Well, do you guys want to make a motion just to approving this draft?
Oh,
that we
yes,
just sent,
we do
and
need
then-
to do that.
So moved.
Yeah.
And second?
Second.
Okay. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So do I,
Up to you, or you can do it under Lou, whatever you
let
want.
me just do it under Lou.
Okay.
Do we have any unfinished business? Doesn't look like it. Staff report. You've got a lot of good things in the staff report.
Do you want to go, do you want to go down the list with Paul, or, and then Chris?
Oh, yeah, town council liaison.
I just have a few items, so I won't be long.
Okay.
Since we met last, town council approved the 3 repair and renovation initiatives that were discussed here at the last meeting, so that's great for us. The second issue that I just wanted to put on people's radar is that really centered out of Evansville, but as a regional initiative, there's a river renewal effort in place across the region. It's being managed and quarterbacked out of EREP in Evansville. But they've been extremely interested in what Newburgh, how they might participate in this. And in their effort to be helpful, they came and stirred the pot a little bit with parking issues and things like that. The town council met last week, and had a planning session that was a bit of like, what things can we dream and scheme, especially if this is gonna involve federal dollars and something that will positively impact our riverfront. This wasn't my idea, but I thought it was a great idea. Apparently in the past, there has been concern about the way the trail comes through the old Lock and Dam Park, how the parking, getting in and out of parking on the south side of the trail is. And at some place in the past, I'm looking for anybody who has a historical perspective, engineering and plans were looked at to cantilever the trail through the park, which is obviously not cheap. But if that's a project that the Parks Board thinks would be worthy of pursuing, and we'll bring something, not tonight, but I'm just putting it on your radar screen, that it might be something that the region could champion for us, so that we can, take advantage of this project that's coming down from Newburgh all the way to Mount Vernon. So, anybody remember this? The cantilever and the trail?
Anne was the one that mentioned it. She says there was plans. I pulled the plans that I have in my office, and I couldn't find anything, but there is a storage room that they could very well be in. So, something that I told Julie that at some point, if me and her get some time, I wanted to go through, so, because the plans I have are all the actual as-builts, but I'm assuming there are drafts and dreams, and I know there are boxes and boxes that say trail, so.
Sure.
Well, I
what's
was
in
on the
there?
trail committee from 2003 on until it was completed. And I don't remember,
No, it never came up.
anything like that.
She says there's drawings, so that's what,
Well,
that's what I've been
and-
looking for,
Yeah,
but,
there may have been some that just didn't make it to the meetings that I went to.
yeah.
The fact that that much effort went into it, though, is pretty interesting. I mean, and Ann's not wrong on details, so.
No,
Yeah.
she's not. No, she's not.
I'm new, but I got it
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for that, just, it would just be neat if there was some type of a, just so we can kind of see what that vision was, and just something to, like he said, piggyback on eventually, but, I mean, Chris and I have been talking about it with, when it comes to the boat dock, when it comes to parking on the Esplanade, like, that whole area with EREP and that vision, and, what can we do in that space?
We met with the EREP River Coordinator Monday afternoon, and I'm in the process of getting her the information that came out of that meeting that Paul referenced, so. And plus, there's a meeting coming up in September where the designers are coming in to kind of talk about what an update looks like. And then there's also the Ohio River Confluence Conference that's coming up in Louisville, Kentucky, I think in September, October. And I'm gonna go over probably, and Andrea might go over as well, with some of the EREP folks and attend that. I don't think we'll stay for the 2 days, but we'll pick a day and drive over and knock out what we can. But for the past year, I've been attending a lot of their regional conference calls. And until recently, I was the only person we were the only community west of Louisville that was participating in that. It's mainly been focused out of Cincinnati and Louisville, and then all the way towards West Virginia. But earlier this year, the federal government designated the Ohio River a water trail, and that goes the whole length of the river. So
Oh, good.
Yeah.
there's an initiative going through Congress where the congresswoman from the 9th District in Indiana and the congressman over in the Louisville area in Kentucky are co-sponsoring some legislation to try to get some federal funding for the Ohio River watershed. The Ohio River is the only watershed in the nation that doesn't get any federal support. So this group with the Ohio River Way, and then there's a couple other initiatives that are grouped in there with acronyms, are kind of helping push that. And EREP met with the Ohio River Way coordinator within the past month and a half. So they're going to start attending that on a regular basis as well. So, and then I said, why start there? I don't know who the EREP counterparts are in Paducah, but I'm sure there's got to be somebody. I mean, you would think Evansville and Paducah before you head down to try to hit the big regional centers. And so it's kind of a growing thing. Some of the signage on the river trail I'd shared with the EREP folks from some of the areas up the other side of Louisville where they have like mile markers along walking trails that parallel the river.
We do too. We have mile markers.
I didn't know, and you can't see them.
But do they
Well-
have these are like signs with QR codes to the Indiana travel convention?
No, ours is
Yeah.
just, we started out there at the new dam and they're in the ground and
But
they
it's
just
not
tell you
for
what,
it's the river,
what-
it's the river mileage
oh, no.
on where you're at on the river.
We have in our basement, we have all the dams. Anyway,
Ours is special since we are mile 777.7.
yeah. My recollection of what we talked about when we actually did the trail down there was the parking before the trail went all the way up to the wall. And so they moved the parking out, just did a road diet thing so that there would be places for people to walk. And then that was to be kept open during any kind of festivals. There used to be festivals down there almost every weekend. And once that happened, that you couldn't block you couldn't have your tent right there next to the wall and have people pop out of their car and get their food or whatever. So the festivals have kind of died off down there. But Anyway, I don't remember a cantilever, but I'd be interested to see it.
Well, not only just the cars trying to get in and out, that's dangerous back in, onto that road, but also there's foot traffic, there are a lot of foot traffic coming down the trail.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think just from a perspective of what we'd like the community and the trail to look like, it's a worthy conversation. The
Definitely.
expense is gonna be an issue, but again, if we attach to this, I mean, this is a huge, you know, I don't even wanna guess what they wanna spend along the whole corridor, but it's a big number of, it's a big amount. So.
Well, my biggest concern has been the speeding through the park. And
Well, we're
it-
fixing all that, aren't we?
we have, you know, we finally got double yellow lines painted all the way through the park about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we still have people passing on the double yellow line. I just saw that about a month ago when I was out walking.
So we put double yellow lines and then we put bollards on the trail because people were then also popping on the trail to pass as well.
Nice.
So those two things happened. The big thing we're working on is, I don't think people know they're entering a park so much. So we're working on signage, which you guys know, so we're looking at designs. So hopefully something that says entering, I mean, I don't know if that would do it, but at least there's some recognition that you're entering the park, right?
Mhm.
And then the crosswalk, or the road and the crosswalk, at Old Lock and Dam is part of that SS4A funding that we're getting. And so they then essentially will look at the roads, because also we want people to cross safely. We want people to start using both north and south. And so part of that SS4A will look at that intersection and what we should do. And so hopefully all that's been officially submitted as well, but, you know, just like everything, everything's kind of taking a little bit longer. So, I mean, we've been awarded it, are now waiting, for that funding before we can start. I don't know what, your face, I don't know what you're about.
That's the polite wording.
Yeah.
We've resubmitted and submitted what they've asked for probably 5 times since January. I mean, that's conservative.
Yeah.
And it's like every time we think we've jumped through the final hoop, they kick it back and want like some language changed in what we signed off on. And it's getting to the point, if it happens one more time, I'm going above. I'm gonna have to get like our Congress people involved because this is ridiculous. I mean, I understand why the money was held up in January, but we're in August. And this is, you know, I brought it up at an NDOT thing that was a regional meeting. And it's funny how we finally got movement when I brought it up there to the higher ups. And now this guy we're dealing with, I just don't feel he's comfortable with his job in the program. And I understand a lot of those federal people are under stress right now, but you know, this was supposed to be an important building block, or it will be, as far as a safety standpoint, to work in conjunction with the parking study to kind of give us a roadmap for what the next few years look like, on where our direction should be. And you know, the parking study's on track to come in about another month, so I mean, that's on time, but we'll probably just be starting, because we're waiting for the letter so that we can go hire a contractor to do the study. That's all we're waiting on. We've been waiting on that since the 3rd week of January. And we've updated and re-updated our paperwork 5 times. And I'll go on that for a tangent, so I better stop.
Okay, Paul, do you have anything else?
That's all I have.
That's all you have? Okay. Chris, you want to continue?
One thing to kind of continue along what Paul said, I was just going to give you an advisory that I've been meeting with the regional trail people out of Evansville and the Warwick Trails, and they've produced a grant that they've asked for me to apply on behalf of the town that'll provide up to $10,000 for study, to where we can study like running the trail addition from the river to the Lou Dennis Park, and then possibly creating like a termination point that would then be picked up by the county trail system. So I don't know if I need an official blessing or not, but I was gonna apply for this grant and see where it takes us just to get the study.
Is the study designing it? Or,
It depends on how far the 10,000 would take us.
because we have a rough design from Morley.
We would give them what they want, but this would put towards, what we would do is if we got the grant, we would get the same person that did the regional plan and
Okay.
have them kind of link it all up.
Okay, because we have the plan that takes it from around Trailhead, down frame, across a center point easement, and into, and through the ravine and then into Lou.
But this would be more than that because there would need to be a termination point past the park that
Okay.
either picks up there, I can't remember if it's Sharon Road or
Oh,
up
okay.
State Street, is where the county's gonna run their stuff too. So this would look at a little bit more
More of that.
than what we have. So, I plan on applying for this in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm
great.
pretty much been told, I know some of the people that are on the committee decided, so they said
Was-
send it in.
Would you like a motion to?
Yes, please.
Okay. Shall we, like to call for a motion to apply for the grant to have.
It's through the Greenways Foundation.
Through the Greenways Foundation to study the trail from, do I have to say from where?
We can just say trail connectivity.
Okay, trail connectivity. So, okay.
Second.
You make, Tammy's gonna make the motion.
Second.
And a second. Okay, do we have any other discussion? That sounds good.
The only other thing along that regional plan, it's online. I believe there's a couple different places you can find it. They're looking heavily at the section from Moser's to the county line because the Evansville, Vanderbilt County side, they're gonna run it down Pollock, from Angel Mounds down into downtown Evansville. And then if you look at the regional, you're thinking, how are they gonna get to Mount Vernon? They have it running like next to the expressway, kind of from the county line into Mount Vernon, which I think that's the most up in the air part of the project, is getting that connection from the west side of Evansville to Mount Vernon. But I think in the foreseeable future, there could be a lot going on between here and Evansville and then here in like Freedman Park. And I think that's kind of the two focuses from talking to the two different groups. But other than that, we've just been focusing on FEMA this week.
Okay. And Deputy Town Manager.
You guys have my. Oh, they didn't read it.
Oh,
Motion to
okay.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. I'm just a little off today. Thank you. I'm just,
We're missing Connor.
that's right.
Connor.
No, I'm just a half a tick off. So you're just gonna have to be patient with me. Okay.
You guys have my report in front of you. Kind of the big things, the cottages are all decorated. I don't know if you guys saw the photos.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Really nice. And we've had 3 or 4 rentals since then. One was someone who rents it every single year. And they came in, they were like, oh my God. They loved it. It was just, a big difference from, what they've seen before. The only other thing I had, I didn't know if you guys wanted to discuss, it's gonna go to council at some point. But I did get a quote, to make the walls inside of the Little Red Brick House washable. That will allow them to, if they decide to have a concession stand, to have a concession stand. There was a lot of back and forth, with council on that. But I just got a quote just to get a quote to see what it would cost. So the one quote I got was around $9,700. And what that does, instead of putting, there's a cheaper version, right, where we can put the drywall, I guess, directly onto the wall. But with it, and I still want to talk to Jim, I don't know if that interior wall is original. I'm assuming it
I have
is,
no idea.
but I need to talk to Jim. But
Yeah.
this will frame around that wall and will also make it a lot straighter because the walls are in an 1800 building. The walls
They're
generally-
kind of like my walls.
Yeah, they're not. So this would frame that out, put the drywall, and it'll make the walls washable. So I just kind of want to see what your guys' thoughts were on it. It is really, HPC really has no say inside, but I just wanted to talk to Jim, before I did it, just because of his history with that building and everything.
Just painting. You need new drywall, because I just painted my,
Well, this is textured, so I don't know if you can tell from the photos, but it's like a textured,
but when your ceiling goes like this.
oh, yes.
Are we finding, we're getting requests for this to be a concession?
Mostly from the Arts Commission. So they've been allowed to do just popcorn out of there. So just to give you a rundown of a history, the building was moved there and it was kind of like, oh, it could be a concession. It was kind of up in the air what we were gonna use that building for, right? Then the amphitheater came and they're like, oh, well, we can use it as like a staging area and a concession stand. Then this whole thing came again. Well, you have to have washable walls, you have to have a 3-apartment, there's rules, right? So then it became, okay, it's just gonna be they don't have the funds for that, it's gonna be a staging area and we're gonna convert a small section to a bathroom. And that's where it's kind of been.
Yep.
Now the amphitheater is really kicking up,
So we need it.
so there's stuff, then they wanted to do just popcorn. Because of how the popcorn's done, they can do it in the condition that it's in now. If they only ever wanna do just popcorn, it can stay the way it is. But knowing what the steps have been so far, I just figure, what if we I mean, it's really up to council, but I just wanted to see the quote to see what it would be to get us in the position where if they wanted to move forward with the concession stand, and does it make it more attractive to people to rent it? I don't know, so that's kind of where I am. So I just didn't know what your guys' thoughts were on it.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, all you've done is gotten quotes.
That's it, yeah, just a quote.
And you're gonna find out from Jim whether these are original walls.
The only other cost would be a 3-compartment sink. I talked to a plumber, well, I don't need to go into it, but I've talked to a plumber about it, so it's fine. So there would be that cost, there would be that cost associated with it, because you have to have the different compartments for cleaning and everything. So yeah, so I mean, essentially it is a council decision. It's come up through the Arts Commission, through a council member. But since it is in one of your parks, I just wanted to kind of get your guys' feel on I mean, I kind of go back and forth. I mean, right now the amphitheater is solely used by the Arts Commission. We don't get a ton of outside rentals. We do have it attached to Pres Hall, so that's where a couple of the rentals have come in. So they've done weddings out there and then they rent Pres Hall for the reception. But as far as it being a draw or us being a place for people to come outside of the Arts Commission, we haven't gotten that yet. So does doing something like this make it more attractive, knowing that you can say it also comes with the capacity to have a concession stand? I don't know, or do we run the concession stand ourselves? That also gets into a whole thing with the National Park Service later down the line, but do we do the work just to have it, or, is it not worth the $10,000 to do it? So, I don't know.
It almost depends on the budget. Like, if we have some extra, let's just say that the boat dock had a really good year and collected a whole bunch of fees for parking, and
the rentals were doing good, and
the
you had a
rentals were
surplus.
doing well, and so, let's spend a little money at this park.
I mean, we did, and I can grab your guys' budget for you. I mean, this is not a rush necessarily for this year. I mean, Arts Commission at this point is only doing popcorn through the end of September, or maybe even just the one thing, I don't know, but just something to think about. I can get you guys' budget for the rest of the year. We're in budget mode now, going through the budgets coming up. We did just spend $20,000 on those cottages, so, no, 10,000.
Yeah.
Spend 10,000 on the cottages. Okay, not 20.
One thought, as a former Band Boosters member who made a lot of popcorn over 6 years, you'll want something on the wall that is easily cleanable.
Right.
Because oil collects there and it gets grungy and dusty on top of the
Yeah.
oil, yeah.
And that's why the walls have to be washable, they have to be, you know, there's all these
Exactly.
rules, and Gerald's looking into a way to make a little ledge for when they open the window if needed, so it's going that direction, I just don't know to what extent, I mean, if it's only ever just popcorn, you know,
Yeah.
do we need to spend the money, or does it make it a more attractive rental? I don't know, so I just kinda wanted to throw it out there, we don't have to make a decision today, just have it in your brain, think about it,
Okay.
let me know
I
what
like
you think.
Mary Ann's
but-
idea, let's start with the popcorn,
Yeah,
and as money becomes available, we could expand it
Yeah.
into something bigger.
yeah, no, I agree.
Because
I
there's
just-
always staffing too. How do you, how do you get people to
And I mean,
staff the concession stand?
that's why we don't have a concession stand at the splash pad, because we
Right.
dealt with it when the pool was there. And it's difficult, it's to have it and keep it and inventory and the money and all that stuff, so. That's really the only other big thing I think I had in there.
I have a
if you
question
had some
about the
questions.
FEMA though.
Yes,
Was anything addressed about the walkway across from Town Hall?
yes, so
Yes.
that's,
And all of that,
so that's
going
the
down.
area, so, there were two big projects that we submitted, both are in parks. One, here is this trail right here from
Yeah.
Monroe Street, pretty much that way. All the riprap is gone. So we were kind of rushed in April to get our quotes in. So we put 35,000 on it. They came, measured it. I feel kind of positive about it. He was there with them.
Yeah, I did
He did
she
the
handled the
walkthrough.
paperwork, I did the site reviews. And, we've got like a 60-day window to where that kicked off Tuesday. And I actually sent an email out this afternoon to a contractor after working with our engineer to get an exact quote. So if we need to bump it up to FEMA, I felt very comfortable that they're gonna reimburse us 75%. On the downside, part of that bed of planting stuff is gonna have to be coordinated, you know, cause you don't wanna you can save all the plants that are in there, you just have to have somebody who knows what they're doing. But to fix it right, so it never happens again, you're gonna have to pull that out and pull that back and put like I forget what it's called, there's like a frame with metal and rock at the very base of it to where it slides down in there. And then from the riverside, you pack the riprap in, and then you use some smaller rocks up to about the last 1.5 feet of soil to build that side of the walk up, so that when the water comes up like that again, it won't wash out because it's got that metal holding it all in there. And that's a little bit beyond what our street crew can do. Our street crew can handle the riprap part all day, but we almost need a specialized contractor to start working with that material. So I sent out an email about 2 hours before the meeting to meet with a contractor to hopefully get that quote and get it to FEMA.
And so essentially with FEMA, they want what's it gonna cost to put it back exactly the way it was? And so we can give them that quote. And then they also wanna see the quote of what can you do to make sure this doesn't happen again, quote. And so then you have that quote. So, cause ideally, right, if this happens and it can happen again, they would rather maybe pay for this other one, but they wanna see both. And it's the same with, so then in a Kiwanis Park, which if you guys read that big Kiwanis thing, and I did that for Kiwanis because they asked for it, there was a massive ditch that ran through Kiwanis at some point. Then it got filled in, and then, at
74.
I just did it, you think I remember
I
the
read
date?
it, I read it about 2 hours ago.
So in 74, they filled it in, so it's been there for a while. And then with this big last rain and flooding, it really kind of took it out, so.
The holes are kind of filled in now, but they're there.
Yeah, and so they site walked it as well. We have previous, and so what we're doing now is getting all the previous documentation, everything. And so there is a quote to line the pipe, and then there's also a quote to replace the pipe. And essentially both will be sent to FEMA, and, you know, I mean, even, you know, it's their job, right, to look at everything and make sure, I mean, even little things where we met with, so on the just example, on the wastewater side, everything, I thought wastewater went fine. They didn't really even talk about it. And then today they called me and they were like, can you tell us exactly how many hours the generators ran? And we were like, ugh. Oh, God, like, how can you, you know? So there's like little things like that that they're just gonna want. So we have that 60 days to do that, and then we'll know. But yes, that's part of it, and then Kiwanis Park is
It's
part
from
of it.
the Third underneath the road where the ditch opens up, back diagonal from Third, kind of goes through the Kiwanis, in between those houses towards the senior center. That whole section has got breaks in it. And so it's about $1 million project if you replaced everything.
Wow.
And then
Unfunded $1 million, I might
unfunded.
add.
The only other it really wasn't a project, I categorized it as its own, but Lock and Dam, I submitted a lot of the cleanup stuff, a lot of the, I don't know. I think only a little bit of what I submitted is gonna get reimbursed on that side, but I tried.
Okay.
But yes, so hopefully we'll know shortly, as
And
far
like
as
all
like,
the debris,
all the debris
the
they've
debris
already-
stuff was approved already, so I mean,
that's
that's
$17,000 back to us, just for debris pickup and everything.
like all the trash receptacles and.
And have you noticed that somewhere, somehow or another, there's tree limbs down there by the other side of the Lock and Dam? You know, where we used to park the old dock, there's tree limbs down there. They're reappearing.
Okay,
Um,
look at it.
And committee reports,
I just had one small
Yes.
question from the report. In regards to the chalk party, I had a couple of people send me pictures of things that had gotten spray painted over. So I saw that you were cleaning up messages that were inappropriate as they came up. Has the spray painting been addressed in
I
that? or
haven't
was
seen the spray paint.
I saw the pictures today. That's
Oh.
not something that we did.
Well, I didn't figure that was you guys. I just didn't know if that was already included in the cleanup or if I needed to like get you some picture.
Oh, I don't know.
If you could
It's-
send me what pictures you have, but I
going
mean,
on the, toward the bridge.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
places that are spray
Yeah,
painted.
it looks
Well,
like somebody
it's
chalked
like
it and they spray
Someone
painted over the
someone
top.
spray painted over the chalk, and so instead of doing something like pressure washing it where it would just disappear, now you have the spray paint there, like a black spray paint
That
instead.
seems silly.
I agree,
Yeah.
but I was asked to just bring it
Yeah.
up.
if you could
so-
just send us the
Yeah.
pictures
Okay.
and
Gotcha.
Seems counterproductive.
Okay, playground committee. We're just kind of waiting on ready. So,
Ready or not?
Ready's not ready.
ready's not ready yet, but that's okay. Rivertown Trail 5K committee, I don't know that there's
I haven't
anybody
heard
on there.
anything. Have you heard anything, Chris, from Jacob? No. I'll reach out to him.
I mean, you saw the last email about it about a month or so ago, and I think there is a plan.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Kiwanis Community Playground, park report?
I mean, you guys got that big report I sent from them. They just, Kiwanis wanted to know the history of their property, and they wanted to know so I pulled all that together for them. The only other thing I did attach with you guys is the lease for
Yeah.
them. We don't necessarily need to discuss it or go over it, but just know it is up at the end of the year. And so Kiwanis is asked to sit down and kind of go over the lease. And so the lease is with
Is it-
Warwick County School and Kiwanis.
I thought it said 2007 was when it was signed.
Where's
So,
my brain? 2007, so what's 20 years? Okay, so maybe it's up at the end of next year, not the end
at
of
the
this
end,
year.
yeah.
Well, either way, we're
Well,
gonna
it
probably.
says, on the
Here's
top
a
here, it says,
6, 7.
2006, on this 13th day of 2006.
It was recorded in 2007.
Oh, but when you go under terms, it says it starts January 1.
Okay.
So maybe that's what they're thinking of as well. Maybe they saw that 06.
Yeah, that could be.
So, well, either way, it's a good thing to look at it. So,
Yeah.
we're gonna go through it. They have, I've only ever spoken to Kiwanis on their lease. Never spoken to Warwick County at all. So, we're having some conversations back and forth with Warwick County now and some other things. So I'll probably talk to them about that and just see, make sure everyone's happy with what's currently on there and if there's any changes that they want, but just more of a FYI for you guys.
Okay. And Lou Dennis Community Park.
I you'll talk about the volleyball. I was walking around there today, everything looks pretty good, I mean,
Yeah.
nothing outstanding or anything, so.
And the solar panels have started on there.
Yep, and the splash pad is not manned through the week now, right? 'Cause
Right, so
school
now that the
being
kids are back in school, it's not now, there's a few kids that are coming in like after school and they're picking up trash, cleaning bathrooms, so they might be there like 3 to 7 or 4 to 7. But then they are there at 10 to 7 on Saturdays and Sundays
Okay.
through Labor Day.
We did receive a complaint within the past couple days about the fencing along Park Drive,
That, the split rail that
the
always
split
falls.
rail.
Yeah,
And so our crews are looking at that, but we just received that within the past couple days, and there might be some rotted wood involved. And, you know, that's probably something that we'll have to address and maybe roll into next year, you know, with the construction. Patch what we can, but if we need to change it up,
yeah,
roll it into some of the work that's gonna be done next year.
yeah, make a little bit more attractive fence.
Hey, another thing on Lou, I was wondering if, you know, bring up the subject of soccer nets again. I don't see kids playing soccer there, and I really think if we put up nets, we could draw out some families or some little teams that want to play out there. You know, it's hard to play soccer without a net.
That was something that-
We got great goals out there in a great place. It's a great space. We've talked about it in the past, and I was wondering I was trying to think if I knew anybody at Castle in their soccer program. They get rid of their nets like every year. So you can, maybe an old net or a broken net or something we can put up there. I just think we're missing an opportunity for kids to be running out there.
And
Yep.
what does everybody think about either Joe or I calling Castle and just
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah,
you know, do you have any nets laying around?
yeah,
I'd say go for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
yeah, okay, all right.
So do you want to do that or you
Yeah,
want me to do it?
let me take it. My kids are long gone out of high school, so let's see.
My
what I can-
grandson just made the soccer team at his school in Cincinnati, so.
It's because we used to have soccer nets here.
Okay, and then the other thing that we'd like to talk about is moving the volleyball court. And so Andrea and I came over earlier and Andrea and I talked about this because the ninja course, as you can see by this picture here, kind of goes right through
That's a
the.
rough estimate.
Yeah, a rough estimate goes right through the volleyball court, and there are kids play on the volleyball court, don't they, Tammy?
Yes, they do.
Her daughter's one of the big ones that likes to play. And so Anna and Joe and I went over and kind of looked at where a new volleyball court could go, because we have the United Way Day of Caring coming up on September 12th, Friday, September 12th. And we decided that it would be a really good project. This is another one of my harebrained schemes. Why don't we just go ahead and make a new volleyball court when we have all of this wonderful labor? Because these people from Kaiser know what they're doing, and they do an excellent job. They're hard workers, and we have a really good, they like to work for Joe, basically.
Hold me favors.
And so, I talked with Andrea about that this afternoon, and, you know, which direction would be good to place it and where to place it. And, so she did some quick, very, very quick, drawings for us where the, storm pipes are and where the sewer pipe are, and do we have any idea how deep they are?
I don't know how deep they are. It shouldn't, as far as the volleyball courts, it's not gonna be an issue. Small issue with the playground, but I emailed Nathan today, so,
Small issue.
but as far as where you guys are talking about it, there's nothing really back there.
Okay,
So if we're looking at that red and blue position, I guess one question I have is, if you're looking at the trail connectivity, unless my orientation is wrong, isn't that where you
Yep.
would kind of
Yeah.
ease into, and does that cause any issues with putting a court where you would be aiming to put a trail?
I think the trail is, would be back farther. The entrance, if you look at the original plan for Lou Dennis,
Okay,
the master plan that we did like a year ago, it had an entrance point, and I think it was over just a little bit to the south, maybe, from where we're looking at putting this.
okay.
And then, you know, we also have all these trees back in there, and, you know, I like the blue orientation better than the red orientation, because I can just see the ball going into the ravine.
Okay, so it's not this patch, it's more so like this one right here. It's like right in here.
I pulled the one over here.
You
'cause
pulled
it's-
it, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so it's more like the second shitty patch. Okay.
Well, I think that
Is that-
the,
Did we change it to over there?
no, I think that,
Yeah, so I'm looking at it, I think that curve looks like it comes off
yeah,
here instead. Okay, I see what you mean.
yeah, and, you know, that will be, you know, in the future, and I think we'll have enough room
Okay,
to do it.
okay, no, it looks like the trail's more over from what I thought. I couldn't remember which dip it was, and so I didn't know if we were just about to double count
Yeah,
a dip, so,
yeah,
okay.
Can I, just to give my opinion, I'm not a huge fan of it being way back there in the corner. I mean,
I
I
know.
feel like we're doing, you know, the park, and then we've got the ninja course, and then, we're just really shoving it into the trees back there. Have we thought about, like, where the old Fortress of Fun was? I mean, that is a blank space right there. We still could put picnic tables around there and everything, you know, still have a nice green space.
yeah, we did talk about that. And Joe, you want to give your
My 3 cents?
3 cents worth?
That is a beautiful area to put it. The problem that, the concern we brought up, I actually brought it up, was that is a premium area. Do we really want to take that up with a volleyball court? There may be a shelter in the future. I mean, you look at it, it's surrounded by trees, you'd say, man, this is a premium spot.
It is.
My thinking was the volleyball, there's a big section out there, you know, on the
It's-
other, it's bigger than you think. It looks
It's
like
bigger
this is
than
sandwiched
it looks on
in,
here.
but this would have 15 feet easy all the way around it. And if we don't put something there, it's gonna be stranded. There won't be anything there. And that area under where the Fortress of Fun was, there's gotta be a great feature in the future to put there. It just looks pristine. It really does look good there.
Right.
So that was the thing, that was why we said, hey, the volleyball court, let's put it a little farther away. And if people get covered with sand and then they come towards the splash pad, well, good chance they'll get most of that sand off by having a little more distance. That was the extent of our conversation.
Okay.
And
And
we-
maybe that's it, the picture doesn't really show it that well.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
walk out
if you
there,
walk out there,
there's
it's,
actually,
Yeah.
there's actually a couple metal benches there.
There used to be an old playground back there.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
used to be a merry-go-round and like
I
a
remember it
eagle
now. Yeah, okay,
cage or
yes.
something, but
Yeah.
there is really a lot of room there.
Yeah.
Much more than you'd think.
and these pictures, there are some branches that will need to come off of some of these trees that, I mean, they're already hanging down, they need to come off anyway. And if we put this back here, we could take off a branch here and a branch here and have a nice area, whereas if you're over in the old Fortress area, there are a lot of trees there that's gonna, you know, the ball's gonna get caught up in, it, you know, they're gonna hit a branch and then the ball will fall in a
Well,
funny
that's what I
spot.
thought would be happening here, but maybe
Yeah.
that's just it. This picture is.
Yeah,
We actually walked out there and it's a pretty big open space.
It is, it's huge, open space. It's just the orientation, I thought, I like it better, and Joe says, well, if you go, east to west, then you don't, you have your benches for your fans.
The benches look like they're set up for teams there.
Yeah.
If you go east to west, it looks like we did it on purpose.
Yeah, but then I'm thinking that, well, there's gonna be a lot of balls end up in the ravine. But if you go north and south, then you don't have, you know, you have to take off a couple branches, but you don't have all of that.
Yeah. Also on the south side, remember, you've got a privacy fence. That'll
Yes,
stop the ball from going into that neighbor's yard.
yes,
If
we hope.
it was up bad.
Yeah.
So I guess a slightly different question. You guys may have had these discussions already. If there's a concern about having either back by the trees or having it so far kind of like back and away to get to rather than using the premium space that was where the Fortress, we consider, I guess, the space between where the new playground would be and the soccer field?
So there is a sewer pipe and a drainage pipe right there.
Okay. It just looked like a nice, field by goals by.
Now, of all
Yeah.
things to necessarily put over a sewer and a drainage pipe, a volleyball court isn't a bad idea. I would rather that than actual like a permanent
Because
structure.
I guess like for me, just like you have the soccer field, you have the basketball courts, tennis, like
Yeah.
it's all kind of right there. It's another court, and then it would put it closer to that walking path to, if, I don't know about you, but I can imagine my kid. I know she loves to go play in the sand, and so for me, it'd be great if I could watch her play in the sand while baby brother's over here running around all by the splash pad equipment, and dad's set up under the shelter house, right? It's just a little bit closer and easier to keep that line of sight on my 3 different people.
I can talk, I think Tammy talked about that spot as well right there. I can talk to Drew and, just see what he thinks, cause he's the one that sent me the plans and everything.
Let's
but-
not mess up sewer, let's not like
But
flood the
I'm
volleyball.
just saying,
but-
I mean, sand over a pipe is a lot easier than,
Yeah, I think the pipe's a few feet deep.
right, and we're only, I think Mary Ann said that ideally you dig a foot down, and that's where you put all the sand and everything in, so.
They can, we would just have to have it located before they dig,
Right,
and
right.
they can hand dig around the pipes.
Yeah. And I
They
just,
can use
and
the
I don't,
backhoe for the rest.
I know there is a manhole. So this one I gave you where I hand drawn it. There's a beautiful drawing that Drew did of the survey, and it's very, very hard to see on the one, I'll send it to you guys in an email, but when I print it, it doesn't print off all of the lines and everything.
Okay.
But I'll send that to you guys just so you can kind of see exactly where everything is.
Well-
Cause we did this survey work for the playground.
The other thing that we also have to be cognizant of is putting in this brand-new volleyball court before all the construction's done. Are we going to put it in the way? Because they have to be able to get heavy equipment in there and moving around things, and so we don't want to put it in the way. And if we decide that this just is too early, we need to get the other things in place first and do the volleyball court next year, because they'll have a day of caring again next year. And, we can always do it next year.
But do you have anything?
Oh,
have-
have you seen the estuary?
Okay.
Oh my God, is that a mess?
I-
Yeah, I can think of several things we
I
could
mean-
do.
I can as well, but I just didn't know if you'd already committed anything to this or not. But, I'm not knowing what's coming with the playground or when or where, I mean, I would rather wait, but that's just, you know, it's your guys' decision when it comes to the board, but, whatever you tell
I
us.
think that's
I
a
agree
wise
with you.
decision.
Doesn't it make
yeah.
more
Yeah.
sense
Such
to
a
wait?
small little feature, we wouldn't wanna concrete in some holes and put in some drainage and all that and say, hey, let's move it 6 feet this way, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
That's, you know,
Yeah.
because I know when they did the splash pad, they had big, tall chain link fence all the way around the park, and they had big pieces of equipment that they had to move in and out, and we can think of something else for
that's a very good point.
those guys to do, and then that would give us another year to figure out how to do this.
Well, and I think it'll let us see the space better too, as
Yes.
things are built.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we do table it.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it was mentioned that we're shoving it way back, but the playground's gonna be all the way to that yellow line. So it's not really shoved that far back. Once
No.
there's a playground, then all that wide open space right in
Yeah.
front of it.
Right, and I think it'll just let us be able to assess it more as the ninja course comes, as, you know, but I agree, that's a good point, so.
Yeah, I just, you know, as I was thinking about it, are we putting the cart before the horse? And I think we might be, and I think that there's other things. Andrea, you and I can get together and figure out a day's work
We
with
can look at that,
no problem.
look at that little thing next to the tennis court. Where the picnic,
Yeah,
that could use a little
well,
zhuzh. I don't wanna call it a shelter, I don't even know what it is. Like,
yeah, juice
It's a
that up.
shady spot for people playing tennis.
Yeah, yes, I know what you're talking about, yeah, it could, it could really
But
use
yeah,
the
yeah, I'll think of some stuff and I'll get with
Okay,
you.
okay, in the estuary, they have sprayed the weed killer, and so there's all this dead grass in there. And no gravel anymore, I mean, the gravel's,
We can get
so we,
some more stuff.
that needs to be,
Grew over the ground.
that could be a do-over, again. So,
Have we already contacted Kaiser to let them know about?
well,
I contacted them to make sure that they knew that we were depending on them.
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Because it was marked private, and they said, what's private mean? We couldn't sign up, and that means privately reserved the event. So
Yeah.
I got that all straightened out.
Okay.
okay, good. Yeah, it's, I don't think they care what they do.
No, they don't care.
No.
I just need to give them like a week's notice and say, bring these tools
Yeah,
and if they need like a bulldozer or something like that, they
Yeah.
will notice them that.
They will,
but-
yeah.
And we just need to feed them, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and you know, we'll feed them like we, and we can talk about this at Park Pals, but can we do Gerald again, or Jim's now healthy enough, he could grill hot dogs, but,
I'll help out.
you know, so we could just do whatever. We'll talk about that at Park Pals.
They're working machines.
Yeah.
They're
They like their big tools too.
Yep.
They can, they have a reason to get them.
Yeah.
Okay. Old Lock and Dam Park South Side,
No report.
okay. Old Lock and Dam Park North Side,
Kudos on the cottages. Got them done. They look wonderful.
Kudos to Troy Wells.
Okay, Troy was, yeah.
Yeah.
Big in that? Yeah, well, all his furniture.
That is not my-
ideas and- Yeah.
That's not my
very good.
forte.
Yeah. Quick question, are we still working on the QR code up there that will?
Yes, so I wanna do the QR code, we still do the QR code, oh my God, Randy, the stair things,
runners.
Yeah,
runners, oh my God.
Right, okay.
The stair things, and then we're getting new, pictures on all the walls up there as well, so those are the things that are still pending, but
Yeah.
out there, yeah.
So I was thinking, we have so much in Newburgh that, you know, these are kind of like our front door for a lot of people. They
Yeah.
come in here, they're at the cottages, they don't know much about what's going on. We had people who showed up at our museum just by chance when I was docenting, and they said, we didn't even know there was a museum, somebody mentioned it to us. So if we had the QR code and told about museums and libraries and major eateries
Yeah.
and the parks, you know, the attributes of the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be a wonderful thing. First impressions are, you know. And speaking of first impressions, Chris, thank you very much for taking care of the sign on the Water Street at Monroe. That sign was just always blowing over, and they did a great job. They put a large sleeve in there that they then put the other pipe inside of, and it's just perfect.
It's the street crew, I'll let them know.
Yeah, well done. I think that's good for a long time, yeah, until our next tornado. Other thing, first impressions, I was out taking pictures of our park benches, wandering up and down the trail. Some of them are just deplorable.
So we have a ton of photos, and Anna's working on that right now.
Oh, okay,
So,
good. I don't
yeah.
have to send mine
No, we got them. We're working on them right now.
then. Okay, again, impressions of our community. When people come in, they walk up and down the trail, they see stuff looking like that, and it's like, you know, bad
Yeah.
impression. So I'm glad, Anna.
Yes.
Hey, one thing on that side of the park, I got a picture of this, there's a large tree where the sign is for burying the cables, right by that sidewalk. If you look up in that tree, there's about an 18-inch limb that's probably 40 foot long
Ooh,
that is completely dead and full of holes.
ready to come down.
Yeah, it looks fairly dangerous.
Where is this?
On the north side of Lock. I'll have, yeah.
Yeah, right there, that's the tree.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And I got a picture of the limb, but I only do my Vanna White thing here for a living.
That's right.
That's probably
Yeah.
gonna.
I go up and down those stairs and I just notice
Yeah.
that it's very easy to miss, but it's a big limb.
Yeah,
It's-
good catch.
Probably let Charlie know.
And we've already talked about the little cabin and, yeah, okay.
And the roof on the new roof looks good. And as soon as we get the top of the cupola, then we'll be good.
Yep. I gave that to Gerald today to look
Oh, good.
for.
Okay.
Probably in the closet.
Well,
Over-
they'll start the other one in the next week or so, depending on weather. The other building,
Little Red
the
Brick House.
brick.
The red, okay.
Good.
And Overlook Park, Tammy.
Well, when I read this, I was kind of excited, Chris, that is it actually gonna happen because.
I told him that you met with you met with the Corps, and we're trying to move forward with getting some of this stuff taken care of out there.
Yeah, not as fast as I would like to, but at least we have a path. And, with this FEMA stuff popping this week, I'd hoped to make some movement on that this week, but we had to kind of focus on that. So in the next week or so, I'm gonna take some pictures, get with them, try to get some approvals going. And, they're aware now. I think they had a feeling, but there's some things going, that they've had on parts.
On their side.
On their side, what they're hesitant on, you'll see like where the sandbags are stacked up right now, that's on their side of the line. And they cleared that back so that they could open that up for people. And then with all the rain, this past year, it collapsed. So they used the sandbags that they had extra to kind of secure that. And it's about $20,000 to fix it. And with the federal budgets, he said it might take a year or two for them to get the funding to make that not have sandbags on it. So he said we just need to do our due diligence on cutting some of that stuff back, and they'll probably ask some questions to make sure we're not gonna end up with another situation like that. But it was a very good talk. He even invited me to bring some people back this fall when it's a little cooler, to get to tour the facility out there and see the pumps and do all that. I mean, I've walked through it. I remember pre 9/11, you used to be able to walk out on it,
Yep.
but I'd never been in the pumps and all that, and it was something to see. They're very passionate about what they do out there, and I did my thing. I asked a bunch of stories and about what the craziest thing that they saw locked through, and I can't say that in a public meeting, but I was kind of shocked, but I wasn't expecting that answer, but I'll tell you after we get off the camera. I just threw it out there to try to get them to converse a little bit, and when she did not hesitate, the lady behind the desk, she fired off what she saw, and wasn't expecting that, but,
Well, we just became, of course, the Overlook every once in a while does its course on a certain Facebook page, and it happened again this past weekend.
Yeah.
and that's an area that, and I watched that, and I monitored it, and I took pictures, and that's unfortunately that area, but I'm working, they're aware. I talked about that with him in that area, so we're working on some game plans, and I feel like we'll have movement. And then he brought up the fact that eventually, you know, the federal government would still probably end up like to give that to us down the road, the whole thing, so.
Great.
Still a few hoops to
Yes.
jump through, but he said, he brought it up, not me, so I felt good about that.
Yeah.
You know, the conversation Paul was having around the river, you know, that could be a showpiece up there. If you had, you know, say you had $2 million and you wanted to make that just a fantastic
remember-
overlook and park, it could be.
People used to get married up there,
Yeah.
stuff
and
like that.
it's
I mean,
now the concrete's all kind of broken up, it's hard to walk up there and you can't see anything.
we did,
Yeah, when I was a kid, Easter morning at 6 a.m., Zion Church had their
Yeah.
service there.
Yes.
When I was a kid, I would
Yeah.
go there.
Right.
It was beautiful.
It's just, it seems like a waste right now and a great asset we have.
I agree, and we're working through it though with them, and
Yeah.
I instructed the street crew to patch a couple of potholes that I noticed up there, and then, they might have already done that, I didn't check since last week, and then we talked about the sinkhole that's on the, northeast side off there, about some of the workarounds there, so it's just gonna take some time, but
Yeah.
communication lines are open, and I felt like I tried to, the first year I wanted to meet the lockmaster, the postmaster, Molzers, Kaiser, Alcoa, Deaconess, and Ascension, and that was the final one that kind of knocked that off the list, so, because I want to have those communication lines open with the town, and, you know, I'm a little old school, where I was a sales rep that used to knock on doors, and I'm not afraid to do it. And sometimes, you know, when you have those relationships and you're trying to establish a relationship, you can't be afraid to go out to them. You can't expect them to always come to you.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
we're working through it, and hopefully I'll have some better updates in the next month or so.
That's a good one.
That's great.
Thank
Really
you
good.
so much for being so diligent. And let me be the first one to cut the top of that tree.
Well, it makes me mad. I mean, let me tell,
Fall.
well, let me tell you, I
Can
mean,
you
they
do
are,
that
they're
with the-
100%.
With the,
They're
bats,
100
though.
I know, instead of the shovels they give when you start digging something, we're just gonna pass a pole saw or each.
Well, they're 100% on board with the Arboretum too. So I mean, they were very excited about that. You know, I told them the story, and I'll tell you all this, if not to, got another 5 minutes, but it's not gonna be that long. In college, when I didn't have my own house and I'd come back for the summers, and I didn't own a grill yet, I would oftentimes take my friends and family up there and use those little grills to work my magic.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've been coming there a long time, and then, you know, my grandparents lived right down there, and I mean, I remember what it used to be 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And so when I see those things on Facebook, I have to pause, because it's like, man, I haven't been here 11 months. I can't, you know, we've got a great team here, and there's a lot of little fires, but it's because it's not directly under our jurisdiction, my hands are kind of tied on what we can do. And you can play the new card all you want, but I don't like playing that new card with the federal government right now,
Right.
because I don't want to get arrested. You know?
Yeah, right.
So,
Ice will be arriving.
so I mean, but, you know, the conversations are being had, we're gonna move forward, and, it's only gonna go up. I mean, it's,
Tammy's okay being arrested, not.
No problem, my husband will love it.
By the way, the nomenclature was established before you got here, but that's officially known as the Wanda Kavanaugh sinkhole.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
Just so you know.
And we also have to have the sledding hill to
Yeah.
well, that whole,
reestablish.
I've had my lake guy kind of look at the lake too, because the lake is just
It's in bad
It's a
shape.
mess.
and I mean, to fix it, unfortunately, it's not gonna be cheap, but you're gonna have to drain it, reclay it, reline it, regrade it,
Yeah.
clean it, and then restart over. I mean, that's the only way to do it right. And I haven't said that to
But-
anybody yet, but I've had a guy that I trust you know, I had 3 lakes at Oak Hill for 17 and a half years. This is the guy I trust, so I mean, he's kind of eyeballed it, given me an idea, and you're talking 60 to 100 grand depending on what all needs to be done.
But the thing that, the people really want a sledding hill.
I know.
And so if it's redone so that you don't sled right into it, that there's a bank in front of it, then that would be very helpful.
Unfortunately, with Senate Bill 1 and some of the stuff, I mean, it's gonna be a while on that. I'm
Right,
just gonna be honest.
right.
But it doesn't mean, I've been looking for late grants and stuff, but the grant game's still kind of dried up, so.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Okay, Rivertown Trail? I don't think we've got anything
No,
going on there,
no report.
except the black spray paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Veterans Monument Park? That's
She's
there? Okay. Park Pals president.
No, I'll pass.
Okay. Our next board meeting is September 4th, but I'm going to be out of town. Susan's going to be out of town, and Paul's not going to be here. So what does anybody think about moving it to the 10th?
The 10th?
The 11th.
11th,
The
okay.
11th.
Okay.
Moving it to the 11th. Would
Yeah.
that work?
So
Works for
we
me.
have HPC, but if we don't have HPC, then we can have it here, or you can also have it at well,
And it have, well, no, it doesn't, it's based on the room.
okay,
I'm just trying to think that new statute.
yeah. But like
It's
once,
based on who meets here would have to be televised.
but would it be like now that we are live streaming, we have to get, we'll check
No,
with
it's based
legal.
on the room, I believe.
Okay, I'll check with legal though, but, if HPC doesn't have to meet, so I mean, we can tentatively say the 11th and I can let you guys know.
Okay, because
Yeah.
we may just have to skip if half the people, I mean, the president and the vice president are both going to be gone,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
So tentative for the 11th,
tentative for the 11th.
Okay. Got it.
all right?
And you won't know if well, you're going to just check to make sure, to see if we can go over and have it at Lou.
I'll double check with legal, so, yeah, we'll tentatively say 11th and I'll let you guys know.
Okay,
Okay.
I
All right.
I won't be here the 11th, I'll be in French Lake for the stormwater
Hmm.
conference.
So we're both going
Is
to
that-
that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll figure it out.
We can always have Julie come. It's
We
fine.
can
Okay.
have Julia Riley.
Yeah, either one.
okay. Yeah,
Did you sign up?
Julie's
Did you
good.
sign us up for that?
I was talking to her today, yeah.
And maybe Connor could be there,
Yeah.
because, that would be helpful if Connor were there too.
So, also speaking of, and I think Wisher's looking into this, sometimes there's a conflict with this meeting, particularly with Chris and Connor with other things that they're on. So usually I tell Connor, oh, there's, it's new business, just the amendment, I don't think anything legal will come up. So I just didn't know, like, moving forward, if some stuff comes up, are you guys okay with him not being here? Would you rather have legal here at every single meeting? I mean, it's one of the least technical boards, right? So there's one always at HPC, there's one at Stormwater, those kind of things. But I know Chris used to come to this and then he took one of his other towns, which is why we had Ray and then Connor. But then Connor's been, there's been another thing that he's been tasked with that's come up on the first Thursday of every month. So usually I'll tell him, yay, I need him, or sometimes I need him on the phone when we were, doing things, but I just didn't know what your guys' thoughts were.
I kind
it.
of like having legal here, but that's, we used to have Allison here who could
Yeah.
tell us if I was going way off the deep end. But, I don't know, Paul, are you a legal expert?
I don't do psychiatry, so. You're on your own.
No, I'll talk to him. He was just curious if things can continue to come up, either they're gonna have to assign somebody else or
Yeah.
whatever, so.
Yeah, I do like having legal here. And that's just me. What do how do the rest of you feel?
It's good if something comes up and
Yeah.
we would know usually if there's going to be something coming up.
Not always,
Not always, but usually.
not always. Usually we know, but,
We can shake up Chris at home, you know.
Chris Wisher, yeah.
Right.
Well, he's at another meeting.
He's at
Oh,
another
that's
meeting,
true.
that's why he's not here, so.
That's
No,
right.
that's fine, I just wanted to double check,
Yeah.
me and him were talking about it today, so.
Okay, all right. It's 7:35, I think it's time to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Okay. Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. And we turn off the camera so we can hear
yeah.
what went through.
Yeah, right.